IGC either. But how we...
Whoever has not voted yet. Volleyball.
Is that VAAL?
Yes.
Yeah, Baal.
It's actually Baal.
Okay. Baal.
Like
If you guys are wondering about Baal, then just tell me
It's
if you guys haven't read the Torah.
What's
actually outside of the vote. It's in the rest of the Tanakh.
But whoever has not voted in the votes is faint-hearted.
So it's probably in the prophets.
You might want to vote.
It is in the prophets.
Can you stop being anti-Semitic in a room that is hosted by a Jew?
Wait, what did he say? What did he say?
Wait, how are we being anti-Semitic?
Wait, what did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
I swear to God.
No one said anything.
No one's saying anything anti-Semitic. Chill out.
What did he say? Come on, spit it out.
I'll tell you exactly.
In Iran, the statue of whatever was burnt down because there was some kind of Israeli flag next to it, right? So obviously the country has like issues with Israel. So this is what came up, and someone Sheikh brought it up as a troll point, and we just spoke about Baal as a god. And bros, you don't have to be so sensitive about it, bro. Like nothing about this was anti-Semitic, really.
No, because where was the Israeli flag? I'm watching the video now.
Yeah, she left.
There's no Israeli flag.
Dude, why is she getting so upset over this?
Yeah, I saw the video. I didn't see an Israeli flag.
Yeah, there's no Israeli flag.
I don't know, man. Even if they're burning a Baal down, it's a false god, right?
Wait, how would it be anti-Semitic though?
I don't know. I don't know how it's anti-Semitic. That's what I'm trying to say.
The insinuation is that the god that these guys worship is
Okay, that's...
I don't know. I don't like this idea of like silencing conversation. Like, okay, yes, an overwhelming number of academics feel that it's not a crime to engage on their arguments, right? Engage with their actual arguments. Like the whole point of them putting their arguments out there is for us to
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course.
It's free speech. Like, what the fuck?
Absolutely.
I'm against anti-Semantics.
Semantics.
I'm not saying Jewish people.
You come for Jewish consultation?
Baal, worship Baal. There's no place in the Torah.
Listen, if that's... See how idiotic this whole ideology is, right?
Like an upstate New Yorker with a flat A. Baal.
Bad.
You know what?
Question is so bad.
You sound like you're about to vomit.
It's a bad.
Just make the goat noise. It's exactly the same.
Maybe it's my Yiddish accent.
Anyway, can we go back to the topic?
Think about it. That would be like a slap at the eye to the Christian, to the
No, it's not
Muslim.
really.
Oh, okay, fine, whatever.
Here's
It's not anti-Semitic. That's what I'm trying to say.
Here's the crazy part. This is this Baal character is ancient Canaanite. So this could circle around and we Palestinians end up being blamed for the African
It
violence.
is all your fault.
they were chanting death to Israel while they were burning the statue. Who do you think it was directed?
Listen, if that's the case, then it's what Debbie said. Then that would be your ex-god and the ex-god of really Muslim. So if you kind of trace it back, it's a slap at Abraham.
Back and Epstein was connected to Palestinians.
And isn't Israel the people that keep God's
At
covenant?
the top of the obelisk, there was one symbol, the Star of David.
I didn't see that. But if that
Look
were
at
the
the
case,
pictures
then it
with
would
the
be
obelisk, and you can clearly see that the top image of the obelisk is the Star of David. I'm not talking about the pentagram that was drawn under the Baal sticks. I'm talking about the obelisk. At the top of it was the Star of David.
But respectfully, I didn't see that earlier.
Then go look for it.
Well, I mean, it is the seal of Solomon, but yeah, Ambrose is correct.
It's actually not.
The country isn't in good terms with Israel. Yes, that's what people do.
The Star of David is not a fake.
No, I know. I said it's the seal of Solomon, but regardless,
Not even that.
Well, I mean, First King says something interesting about Solomon, but whatever. The point is, the Iranians know what they were doing. I mean, this is a country of religious scholars. They delve into these texts. They delve into these, theologies. Yeah, the message was pretty clear. I mean, I agree with them, but,
I mean, it's the nature of theocracy, right?
You agree with them? Wait, what?
Yeah.
You agree with them that what?
That you guys are idolatrous.
Okay, Buttercup, if that's not anti-Semitic, then I don't know what is.
Sultan is a known anti-Semite. We're not idolaters. Go fuck yourself. We're going to the audience. Anyone else want to take up?
I'm sorry. Every religion started with paganism.
Before we getting moved down.
Yeah, but I don't even know why we're going down this path.
I don't know why we're attacking religions. We're not going after Islam. Why are you coming after us? Like,
I'm not
Muslims are gonna tell you.
No one's.
it's actually the Christian fundamentalists are coming after us.
Yeah, they're gonna come after the Christians.
You want me to come after the Christian supremacists who are destroying our country and killing women and birthplace? Fuck you, Benny. Bring it up again. You're going down.
I'm actually not against you.
Yeah, don't blame Islam for this. We weren't attacking you.
You're right. It's the fucking Christians.
I'm actually.
No, it's not the Jews. It's just bad people.
No, but on here it's the
Hello?
Religion.
No way.
Religions are bad.
Not you. Just only two Christians in particular, Benny Adam and Sultan, are like the biggest anti-Semites in this app, and it's rooted in their scripture.
I actually.
What did we tell you?
They're deep. They have like deeply held anti-Semitic conspiracies that are rooted in their theology, and they give Christians a bad name.
Well, I mean, at least you acknowledge it's rooted in our theology. I appreciate
No,
it.
it's not bad.
Other Christians
Try to present it as if it is.
No, she's the one who said that. I didn't say that. She said
Well,
that.
then I'm calling her out for it. It's not rooted in
I can prove that
Same way
it's rooted in our
rooted in Islam.
theology.
Okay, then you fuck off.
Wait, how can we be anti-Semitic when we worship a Jewish man?
Okay, you're not the type of Christian that Benny
14 years old.
Actually, she is just as bad as us. But no, listen, we have no problem with the ethnicity of Jews.
This is not the topic.
Jewish ethnicity is no
Benny, I don't care what you think.
Jewish religion.
Benny, we don't care. We don't care about your opinion about Jews. Don't talk about the Jews.
So let's talk about Baz.
No, we're not talking. No, I realize this is like a fraud topic now.
And we get together at least once a week.
This is why we can't have nice things.
That is funny. Buttercup, that's kind of true.
Nice things such as.
How can someone be anti-Semitic when they built their schedule around a Jewish man?
Nice things such as, I don't know, a life without violence, a life without occupation, a life without death. Just those nice, very basic things, right?
Who the hell is using the microwave?
We even done it.
Rose, did she eat something?
Snoring, it's breathing exercises.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's why you were responsible.
You know, in the room, helicopters are taking off.
Huh?
When you're in the room, helicopters are taking off.
I would just.
That's not true. I don't follow you.
Alright, Emma wants to say something. She's going to
I would just remind everybody I put downstairs the link to the petition. It's in our resolution paper. It was initiated by some of the members of the group that I work with. It's an organization providing this position for human rights. It's a petition asking for humanitarian to pass recommendations from the president. Please sign up to pass the resolution. Also,
Like redneck.
See, August knows how to say it because she's a
I was saying hell. That's bad.
I'm sorry, and it's what you might not attempt to make me at all.
Don't bring up mine. Don't bring up mine. You can't call me foods in my culture, so you can't bring up my language.
So butter.
I want to say something to foods in your own culture.
I'll share it back up, hold on. So, na'na is the word for mint. Okay?
Yeah.
Edward.
Oh my God, he's with a British accent.
So, Edward says, nana.
I do not say it that way. That's not how I say it.
I call my grandmother Nana. Nana.
Nana, not Nana. No, that's what they're exaggerating.
Nana.
In
Who
Hebrew
started
it's
it?
Nana, but in Arabic you say Nana or something. Or
Farsi is
Nana. Nana.
See? No,
you say it with an ayin, right?
Yes.
Nana.
What is a prince?
Who's a faggot? Who's a faggot?
I'm just checking.
That's how you check. I barely hear you. Go ahead.
You know that some people go bike check 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. He's a faggot.
It's all going boy up, please.
What do you have to say, Prince?
No, I'm just wondering, is my voice clear?
No, it's very low.
Okay.
Brother, why can you never have like a good working microphone? What is the problem?
I don't know.
No, we have Apple stores all over the country.
He won't spend the money on.
No, this thing.
Jason Biabala.
Just like Nargis won't spend the money on cooking classes.
This is horrid. I'm being truly judged.
I'm sorry, for somebody that bought a tree as a bed.
Oh my god, shut your mouth.
Does anybody know about this?
Oh my god.
Yes, of course.
Edward.
Why don't we recap?
Okay.
You know what? Everyone's going down. For
I forgot she's a mod. Oh.
Well, how about you recap?
I couldn't really give a shit about the trees he bought.
There's 2 trees.
No, I'm not even kidding at this moment. How offended I feel.
Sorry, my apologies.
About my choices
I
for
don't
a
give a
bed.
shit about the $15,000 tree he bought.
And the pleasures I have on my bed in the form of a tree. So, Coca.
Okay, you had branches sticking you in places.
Yes, it was badly designed. I returned it.
Alright guys, you want to talk about politics?
Yes, Queen.
Sure.
Yes, Queen.
You want to pivot? Go ahead.
Donald Trump and his bromance with Netanyahu continues. He just said out loud after a meeting with Netanyahu about Iran, he goes, by the way, it's really fucked up that Herzog won't, like, the president won't give him a pardon, which just shows how compromised, like, if the discussions about Iran and whether to go in there or do a deal or whatever involve or is conditional or he's bribing him with some sort of pardon pressure, that's like really fucked up, no? Like it seems like he's compromised.
Yeah, but Vasika, why are the checks and balances not kicking in?
What checks? Like no one seems. There's no one who.
No, but see, this is the problem, as in you have a system.
There's no one in Trump's ear that's saying, "Don't say that."
No, but there's a system in place in the United States, Congress and so on, that is supposed to be ensuring, and you have people within certain positions, like oversight committees, that should be keeping this fucking orange orangutan in check. But not a single person is actually saying anything.
This goes back to the Biden administration. He was obviously severely compromised. He couldn't do his job, but no one stepped up.
All right. We know, Mr. MAGA over here.
I'm not MAGA.
So listen, but
Wait, why do you take offense to Biden, or you don't? But you don't take offense to Trump?
I know, I'm just joking. Biden was fucked up.
It's the same amount of checks and balances.
They shouldn't have lied to us about Biden. But General, I want to point out that there are checks that are holding. Like if you go to the New York Times, there's like a whole landing page for like documenting 600 lawsuits that are moving through the system. Many of Trump's laws are getting either frozen or shut down or an injunction, or they're just sort of stalled indefinitely. But like everything from the environment to immigration to Muslim ban, right? Or like, so I think you guys should check it out because it gave me a little bit of hope that the vast majority, many of these cases are either successful or at least stalling some of these policies. Thank you.
Can you explain to us, Buttercup, what happened with Biden and why he wasn't removed from power when he was
we know that.
clearly not competent?
So, yes, the Democrats fucked up. It was a winnable election.
Democrats? Wait, why is it Democrats? If we have
Because
checks and balances, they're not partisan. The checks and balances that are built into our system are not partisan. If a president is compromised, then the vice president is supposed to take over. The Speaker of the House is supposed to call it. Vice president is supposed to take over. And until the next election.
I mean, it's possible there's a degree of denial, right, Edward? Like if you're sitting there and you really believe in the guy and you have yes people around you, it makes sense that there's a delay before they're willing to admit that he was.
Or now you've seen it happen in the Democrats and the Republicans. Maybe the checks and balances aren't being used at all, and they have been discarded.
What checks are we talking about? I was talking about legal checks, right? We have court systems that are able to challenge a lot of Trump's policies that are the most sinister of his policies, right? Oh, good. She was like, why is everyone asking? Why? In my day, we never ask people who you vote for.
That's right.
And then it's like all screaming at her. We're like, oh, sweet. You voted against our country's interests because you did good for Israel. I don't know, fucking moron. I was really pissed about that. So it's the same thing. You vote your domestic leaders based on how it's going to serve your people, including Muslims that live here.
I've seen when she was campaigning how she treated Muslims. That was enough for me. Trump met with Muslims. He met with Muslim leaders.
Surely you're not that nice.
And then he deported them, and he rounded them up.
No, he didn't.
He didn't know there's 8 Palestinians they just deported to the West Bank. They've never lived there. They've lived there their whole life.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying his deportation policies are right.
They're deporting random Palestinians into the West Bank. It's unprecedented.
Okay, but this is not why I voted for him. I voted for him only because of Gaza. Because no one else in America was standing up, and we had Anthony Blinken, who literally lied, and was even though there was evidence that Israel was using American weaponry against American law, and he lied about it. I think there's a lawsuit on him now for it. He was the Secretary of State. So how do you think people are going to vote that are Palestinian? Are they going to trust the American system when America is literally giving the weapons to commit a genocide of their people? Do you think this is going to be like...
How does it feel that my super rabid mom voted the same as you, Edward, because she thought it would...
But was it her third candidate that was openly
No, we're only a two-party system. There was a third
candidate.
Yeah, but third candidates never win. It's only two parties.
Okay, but why didn't you vote for her?
Because the third candidate wouldn't have mattered. It's only it's a two-party system we have here. It's designed that way.
That would have made more of a statement if more people voted, even for the most unlikely candidate, but just making the right thing.
Well, okay, they did, Rose, and this is how Trump was able to, get elected, because all those people, all the Democrats who did not want to vote for Harris, voted for the third party candidate.
Yeah, they're called spoiler candidates because when there's a very thin margin, they end up spoiling the
But
election.
isn't she the only one that openly spoke against Zionism and the genocide?
Yeah, but she's so third parties don't really have
Jill Stein, right?
Yeah, Jill Stein. But third party candidates can't win. So when you vote for them, it's just spoiling the election for like the bigger party.
So third party.
Not necessarily.
I don't think so. I think it can be a statement vote.
You guys are coming at it from a parliamentary.
The Democrats have lost elections because of spoiler candidates.
On multiple occasions. The last time was Ross Perot ran in Algora.
Famously, yeah.
So in New Jersey, so they had it was a which I like. What's her name? Miama, or I forgot her name. She is running for Congress. She's now the Democratic candidate for the district in New Jersey for the Congress position. She went up against the incumbent and an AIPAC sponsored person, and again they were all asked, do you consider what happened in Gaza a genocide? Raise your hand if you do. And she was the only one that did, and now she is the candidate for the Democratic Party, and she's a what do you call those, Buttercup? It's one of your people.
A Jew?
No, political people.
Political people? What do you mean? Democrats?
Like the liberal, the
lefty, progressive.
Progressive. There you go. Progressive.
Socialist. Leftist.
She's a progressive, and she destroyed the other candidates. So there is a change happening politically in the U.S.
I want you, Edward, look at the article in the chat. Basically, it's a harrowing story of 8 Palestinians that were just literally scooped up in.
Why the hell are they so happy?
And just dumped them without anybody. But they dumped them in the West Bank. They were freezing. They were wearing pajamas from being detained. And then just a random guy took them in and fed them. They literally had no one there. Most of them didn't grow up in the West Bank. They grew up in Michigan. They're from Michigan.
Apparently, according to, I think there was a report that some of these people, Palestinians that were deported, Israeli billionaire deported them on his jet.
Yeah, I saw that. It's in the
judge. Yeah.
Bloody hell. It's very bizarre. It's very extra. It's not normal. There's no checks on it.
Definitely absurd.
No, but it's truly lost, as in if there's no checks and balances, really.
Did you hear the 2 Palestinian 48 had their citizenship revoked and they were exiled to Palestinian territory?
Yeah.
Because we've started ethnically cleansing Palestinian 48 too.
Yeah.
What did they do? Did they do anything?
Not much.
They were given payments by the PLO after they were incarcerated and sentenced by Israel.
But the PLO is not a terrorist organization.
Nope.
The Israeli government tries to claim that.
No, they're also, the Israeli government is...
It doesn't matter, Edward. The point is that if you think about it, and it's not that poverty haven't been ethnically cleansed since before the Nakba, but for a state like Israel to typically revoke a native's citizenship is bizarre.
They're trying to send a message.
Anybody to call it a democracy.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
They're also trying to think, in my opinion, to send a message to the Jewish population who are thinking about, questioning the current government.
No, not exactly.
Can someone get Benny Adamo? He's trying to come up here.
They're just slurps.
I did.
Okay, Benny, if you bring up Saul one more time, you're going down. You're getting kicked out.
Okay. Can I say, did you guys hear about Israel? Rose, did you hear about Israel? They're in the process of putting Qatar on their hostile nations list.
It's so much more complicated than that, but it's also not important. It's just a publicity stunt.
Why do you think it's not important? I think
because it's much more complicated than that. former statement you made about Qatar not being an enemy state, and how does that connect into Qatar Gate and the charges against treason versus just some rogue employees? But it's more of a political internal thing.
Okay. Interesting.
Cora, are you on the phone or are you just having spam calls?
Cora?
I had a legit call, but I've been dead for a while.
Oh, okay, we still the phone. We wanted to ask you earlier, you were listening, but we were talking about how much, an overwhelming number of Holocaust scholars have weighed in and presented convincing arguments that it's a genocide in Gaza, and we were sort of debating how much weight to give it's not like a total consensus in academia, but like large consensus in academia that it's a genocide. Like as an academic, we were hoping you could weigh in on that.
Buttercup, I'm actually gonna challenge that statistic.
Okay, we're not talking to you yet. You go next. Cora's first.
It was only 1/4 of
We don't care.
genocide scholars.
Silence.
I told you we're not going to you right now.
Cora, how do you go?
Let me say first of all,
You burp.
I know I'm eating queso. I'm sorry.
You burp, I slurp. Motherfuckers, we can do what we want.
It's really hard.
Female
Clear
power.
the room really quickly that way.
We can do what we want, when we want, how we want.
Hey, the next thing you're gonna hear is somebody letting rip. I would say that if you only focus on scholars of genocides and Holocausts, you're not getting the full picture, because scholars of genocide and Holocaust have.
Why are you always talking while I'm talking?
There's no representation of definitely not though on the state.
Okay, Sala, go ahead.
Sorry, Shala.
Okay, so basically, guys, when you're running with the Powerpuff Girl, you gotta know what the assignment is. You know what I mean?
Can I be more Jojo?
And the thing is, like, even if one of us differs, we allow for that difference simply because eventually, we know that we're objective thinkers. So, you going, very good. I mean,
No, it was Sultan that was. Well, I was interrupting you as well, but he was the one.
actually, I deserve it every single time Sultan speaks. I interrupt.
I've more about Powerpuff Girls than all of you.
But the thing is,
I think the thing I've noticed is that there are certain people that aren't willing to, basically put themselves in the position of someone that doesn't agree with them or is coming from a different standpoint or has a different belief system, and actually think through everything that entails, and simply thinking out loud about everything that entails doesn't mean you're agreeing with them. You're like thinking through the process. And in order to do, when you do that, you start to see where things aren't actually in conflict, right? And where things actually are. And then you can say, okay, well, these are the actual things that we need to address. We need to not just be completely oppositional to each other on every single issue. This is what I mean by integrative negotiation. It just frustrates the hell out of me. I have no dog in the fight with Gaza, right? Other than I want to see people live, and I want to see people not feel like they're under threat all the time, right? Regardless, of their ethnicity. And that's about it, and it's just, I'm just to me, when I look at it, if I completely remove myself and if I have the freaking global sort of conflict resolution wand, I'd be in there making a single secular state that everybody could live in, right? But when I talk to Palestinians, very sort of defensive Palestinians, they have no interest in a secular state. They're really very much interested in having an Islamic state. And, to me, that's the pinch point right there. It's they're basically saying we will only accept a state if it's one where we can exclude people that don't align or accept our religious beliefs, right? are very negative.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that there's the Palestinians I talked to. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of Palestinians out there that are totally not of that ilk, but the ones that tend to be loud that I hear from on here, that's what I hear from them.
So I do agree with you, and the reason why that this is happening right now is because if you look at the history of the Palestinian resistance, it was actually more sort of secular in nature, actually socialist and communist leaning, and that was the case for about the first 50 years, roughly, give or take, of the resistance. When that seemed to fail, people shifted to another form of resistance, and that's when you saw the emergence of a more Islamic resistance. And that's what we're living through right now. So a lot of these people, the very same people that you will see advocating for an Islamic state, Islamic resistance, their parents most likely advocated for secular resistance in a secular state, probably even socialist and communist.
So Mikhail is an example of this. I think he said his parents were the Fatawis.
Yeah.
Also do remember
the current president of Syria, Ahmed al-Shara, who was the leader of Al-Qaeda, right? His dad was a secular Baptist.
For me, like words like better, more, are just so freaking kind of. It's dishonest in a way. Not in the sense that they don't have meaning, but that there is no way to sort of give it any substance. So when I say like most of them would want such and such a thing, where the bloody hell am I getting these demographics from?
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. See, like, they choose most secular leftist people are actually as ideological as the religious people they criticize. They're just dishonest about it. So you'll see, like, that's where you basically get, like, what's the word, white savior syndrome, although this isn't really unique to white people, where you basically have a bunch of people saying that, oh, I know what's good for your people. I know what's good for your people. Now, I actually do believe that there are some people who know better for other people than others, but that's just because of my own personal framework. But they ignore the fact that, like, people are rational agents. They do want certain things, and yeah, when the majority of Palestinians say that, okay, they want Hamas, I don't doubt that. Now, these people tend to delude themselves and say, no, they don't actually know what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but if they don't know what's going on, then how do you know they know what's going on when it comes to Israel?
Also, the aspect of religiosity could perhaps be like you guys said, developed over time, or just intrinsic to the belief system of the people, right? Now, that would be the entailment eventually, but to think that that is the very intent to begin with, more than just people wanting to be free, having land of their own, I think that's too much of a stretch to say that they intend otherwise.
Not only is that not the original intent, I don't think it's going to be the objective either.
Yeah.
Like take Syria again as an example.
Correct.
You have the former leader of Al-Qaeda becoming the president, and how much Islamic law has been implemented.
And him booty clapping for the West, exactly. So, I mean, these are puppets being installed, especially with your boy Jelani. Like, quite obviously, one can tell that.
Well, I mean, he's a puppet of Turkey, but that's another.
Whatever it is, a puppet, right?
Yeah, but he's a puppet of Turkey, which is also somewhat Islamist, right? But
right.
No
so-called.
Being implemented.
Right, so-called. Eventually, we see like this pattern repeat itself, where subjugation to the West just becomes inevitable in some way or the other. Now, if one truly like stands against it, I mean, a more softer term would be like, I don't know, ally, some kind of alliance that doesn't freaking show a turning of the back.
No, right? They definitely turned their back on the West in some respects.
In what?
They're kind of, in terms of their purchasing of weaponry from Russia.
That is a good
their cooperation with China, their cooperation with Iran over the years.
I agree with that. Yeah. And would you say the same holds now?
Oh, absolutely. It's worse now than before.
All right then.
Here's something that confuses me though is why people consider Russia not the West, because it's very European, and the history of the leaders of it, they're literally parts of the British royal family in there. You know,
yeah, that's not what matters.
What matters?
That's not what's noted by the West in modern day.
I know.
Yeah.
In terms of civilizational continuity, the West is really the core of the West is the Protestant nations, but also some of the Western Catholic nations. Sorry, Benny Adam, but yeah, the Eastern Orthodox are not considered Western, really.
100%.
So
Europe and the United States are the West. Also Japan.
Not all of Europe, no.
Well, right, not the way weird Eastern Bulgaria part, or Albania necessarily.
Or Serbia, or...
This seems odd to me because, like, I've spent quite a bit of time in Romania, and to me, it was like no different than any other European country.
Romania, I know a lot of Romanians in my church. They would probably.
God did so.
Who was that El Normo and
God let me in.
What if God was?
well, you have
El Normo came in through the back?
It's because I know the room. Of course,
I came in through the front.
How long did I let him in?
What, Buttercup?
Let him be. Let him be.
Oh, Emerald's in the back. Oh, she went.
El Normo, have you
Have you ever had El Normo? I think you guys would have great conversations.
Leave her alone for a second.
My opinion is valid.
Yeah, one.
I just didn't want to say to Laura. I know a bunch of Romanians. I actually go to church with a lot of them. Some of them would definitely say that they are aspirationally Western, that they want to be part of the West, they want to integrate with the West, whereas a lot of them would say that, no, we're not Western, we're Eastern, we're very different. So, yeah, whether or not Romania is the quote-unquote West, that's very highly debatable. I would say that the West, quote-unquote, is more so the first world nations, as classically initially defined as first world, second world, and third world. First world are being America and her allies, the second world being the Soviet Union and her allies, third world being the non-aligned nations. And so the inheritance of the West is the first world nations. In that definition.
I want to address something that Ali John in the chat said, okay? And I'm thinking about it. He's saying no. Palestinian resistance was not secular from the onset. It blended serious religious, and some nationalist, anti-colonial ailments from early on. Now, would that statement hold true or not?
To a certain extent, there were definitely some religious groups from the very beginning. The vast majority of them were secular, and certainly the ones that had power and were actually conducting operations.
Oh wait, it was led by Haj al-Husseini, who couldn't have been more Muslim. And then came when the Soviet Union rose, they got behind Arafat, who was much more secular, and George Hamas of the Palestinian, the People's Front for the Liberation of Palestine, PFLP, who was like communist and secular. But the main thrust, the way it got off the ground with Haj al-Husseini and his alliance to the Arab world. Haj
al-Husseini was appointed by the British.
And he was a big Muslim.
Yes,
appointed by the British.
Appointed by the
British. Do not forget, quote unquote, appointed by the British.
By a Jewish guy, by the way.
It was intended to be so. Good Lord. Normal.
It was intended to be what?
To be so. They picked him for a reason.
I didn't say he was picked by the British.
Absolutely.
It's clanling. I didn't say it wasn't until the British. That's just who he was.
We're saying
he was a Muslim guy.
His picking and that choice was intentional. That's what was.
He was picked as the Grand Mufti, right, British maybe, but I mean he was already the foremost Palestinian political.
Not really.
His father was more so. He came from a leading family. The clans all competed with each other.
But there were other leading families. There were other leading families.
Of course, yeah. If you want to call it that, yes. All the families had leaders, and still do, by the way. There are still clans in Gaza and in Judea and Samaria.
Yes.
Well, I really can't have him on my stage. He makes me sick.
Well, maybe it was sick to be
I was going to ask you if I could kick him out, but yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
Mark's that's all
I
right.
just got in because I left the room for a second.
Yeah, if you let me know, I'm happy to throw Norm out whenever. As long as if it's a rule that he's not supposed to be in here, I'll be like, yeah.
Mark, but
I don't think
Mark,
anyone
but
likes
that could be just that he is so by virtue of him choosing such a his own religion, right? This wouldn't sort of be a pointer to his intent to Islamicize the whole movement. I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue.
no, I
I
mean,
mean, the thing is, even secular equals to go on. Sorry.
Yeah, it's true that in addition to the sort of Islamic currents flowing through his, so first of all, I think his position probably changed to some extent over time. In addition to the religious currents flowing through, his particular ideology, there were also nationalist currents, although they were more pan-Arabist, at least for most of his tenure.
Exactly.
For most of his tenure, than they were Palestinian specifically. That said, he basically, I can look it up the name because I don't actually remember it off the top of my head, but in the 1920s or 30s, he called some sort of grand plenary of representatives of Islamic countries, and almost all of them actually responded and tried to get himself appointed the caliph of the entire Islamic world. Obviously he failed in that, but given that he was trying to appoint himself the leader of his entire religion, probably there's some important Islamist aspects of his motivations.
Yeah, but the thing is, even secular movements tend to often involve religious leaders. In Iran, you saw the communists would go to churches and say that the priests and bishops would tell their revolutionary congregants to say that Muhammad is a prophet of God, which is funny, just put nice as a Christian. Or even the civil rights movement here, right, in the U.S., where they involved church leaders, deacons, bishops, all sorts of people, because religion is important to people. It's seen as an ethical, moral framework, and if your cause gets religious institutions on their side, right? This is important.
yeah, Sultan, I'm not aiming at religiosity from that angle. I'm aiming at an angle that makes it, in a way, justified to the people perhaps going through an oppressive state of being, wherein they adopt such principles in order to overcome oppression, grant hope, just the very reason why people even take to religion to begin with in most cases, right? So this becomes even more prominent, I think, within situations wherein they are going through